Top of the morning to you. Johnny Joins Spain here. And I'm from Delaware. Where are you from, Tony?
I'm from Ireland.
That is the strongest Irish accent. What part of the world are you from, homie?
From the southern Ireland.
I knew it catch you. From the south, yeah. Tony is just we're shooting shits for a few minutes. It's good enough to come on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about everybody's favorite character and be super serious about it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Let's okay. Here we have Rich, we have David, we have Phil here. As I said, Phil is indecisive about who he likes and does not like. And then we have David Adams here, and we have Rich up there. And Rich's favorite house is House Dane, and David Adams' favorite character is Arya. Now, what do them two have in common? You both have no storyline or plot depth. Oh, and you both lack a sword that can do shit. The fuck out of here, motherfucker. Fuck the two of them. What's your opinion on fucking Arya, yeah? The little wannabe assassin bitch.
Oh, she's dead.
Actually, yeah, you really.
Yeah, she's definitely dying. I have people that tell them that, like, yeah, she's gonna die. They're like, no, they can't kill Arya. I'm like, why not? They kill everybody else. Why not Arya?
Yeah. How do you see her dying, Tony?
I think she's gonna. I always thought like maybe it'd be like something with her that when she does the whole the face changing shit. I think she's gonna like you know how like the guy Jack and used to always tell her like you're not ready for that, and she'd always like try to use a face, and he's like, oh, you're a girl is not ready and all that shit. She's gonna like try to do something and she's gonna fuck it up somehow. Like she's gonna get it stuck or something and like can't get it off, and somebody thinks she's like a different person, and they kill her because they're trying to kill that person. And she's trying to like so bad to rip this face off, and she can't. Like to be like, stop! I'm little Arya Stark. Don't kill me. And then they stab the shit out of her.
Yeah, imagine she put the wrong face on when she goes to Winterfell, and it's Walder Frey's and Jon Snow.
Right. Yeah, or like or somebody like that, like a Lannister or Frey or anybody, you know, that like, and Jon just whips out Longclaw and just like gashes her, and then when he kills her, like her real face comes back, and he's like, "Fuck!"
Then his sword lights up. Nisa, baby.
Yeah. I seen that on Reddit. I actually seen that on Reddit where somebody was saying how that the Nisa thing, like everybody thinks it's like Dany, and they were saying like it was gonna be Arya, but just like you just said, like that he doesn't know it's Arya, like he accidentally kills her. And he like tempers the fucking sword. Yeah, like and I was like, at first I was like, you're right, fuck that. Right? Then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I mean, in this shit, anything's possible, dude. I got to the point where anything's fucking possible. Like the first season, if you never read the books, and like say me, like I watched the first season, and like I didn't even know there was a books on it. Like my friend was like, I was watching it, and I was like talking to him about it at work. And he's like, dude, you think the show's good? Like you should read the books. I'm like, they have books. He's like, fuck yeah. He's like, they got like I don't even know. I don't think Dance was out yet. But he's like, yeah, they got 4 books. He's like, it's way better in the book. So like, and I always been a person like I'm the kind of person like I have a short attention span. Like I have to really something really has to like catch my attention for me to actually like read the motherfucker, especially like 4 novels that are like 1,000 pages each. And I'm just like, all right, so I start reading it and like I can't put it down. But then like you look at the show, like I started watching it first, and when they killed like Ned Stark, I didn't see that shit coming. I didn't think like yeah, he got arrested and all that, and then you see like Varys works it out. But I'm like, you don't usually see like the top good guy get knocked off that quick. But like we all should have seen it coming because freaking Sean Bean gets killed in like every movie he's in. Like I think he's been like the most killed actor like ever. Like they asked him that on some talk show he was on. Like they've had this compilation of every movie or show he's been in. He like dies in all of them.
Oh, yeah, I'm with that shit, man. I'm with that. But I remember when I was telling people, like, oh yeah, they're making a show about the books now. I was like, I didn't know it was going to be a good adaptation or bad adaptation. I just knew big production, but big production doesn't mean it's going to do it justice. And then I orgasmed a little bit when I seen the most powerful scene for me when it came from books. Wait, first of all, before we go into that, Rich, what's good, homie?
What's up?
Sorry, man, manners. What's good? Welcome home.
What's up, Johnny? It's all right. I kind of just snuck in there, real sly like. It's all right. What's up, Tony?
What's up, man?
Manners, right? We're literally we're trolling Arya's death, and well, here it's all fucking Tony. It's not Johnny. Disclaimer. Yeah, I'm with it. Whatever Tony says, I'm with, man.
Well, they did kind of foreshadow that with John telling her they're going to find her frozen with a needle clutched in her hands, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Now she's got her needle.
Wow, that's true. I forgot all about that, dude. That's crazy. See, you always think that's how I love about it.
You know what I mean? Diabetes.
That's what I love about that stuff, because like there's so much shit involved with this, like show and book, and like you might have heard or read something, but like you might have like totally forgot about it. And somebody brings it up, and it like makes a whole point like click, and you're like, oh fuck, you thought some scenario was like there was no chance of it happening, and then when somebody brings up something like that, like clutching needle frozen in the snow, you're like, oh fuck. Because a lot of these like plot lines and like deaths and shit in this are like pretty much like like they're already like you'll see it said, and then when they die, you'll think of that again and like, oh shit, I should have seen it coming because it fits perfectly. But I didn't even think about that though. It's been so long since I've heard that. Now you just said Rich just said it, and I'm like, damn, I guess there's a good chance that'll happen.
Yeah, scary now.
Right.
All the pieces are falling into place.
Right. Because you get them people that are like, oh no, they're not going to kill Arya. It's George's wife's favorite character. It's like, so what?
So isn't it his third wife too? So
yeah, I think.
Yeah, so it's not like marriage is fucking. It's not like he holds marriage to the highest regard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when I first read them, I hate saying this because I always feel like an arsehole. Because like, oh yeah, Johnny's gonna go into that rant. It's not a rant. It's in 2005, 2006 or something. And then it was like the way the show did it, when I was trying to explain to people then in 2000, just before the fall in 2011, gonna adopt it because we didn't see much. I was like, oh yeah, everything looks amazing on a trailer. It's like if somebody says there's an amazing sports player on YouTube, check his clips out. Anybody looks amazing on a 3-minute clip of your best shit. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's like I don't know. And it was for me, the winner was obviously when I seen Jon Snow and Ghost. When I was able to just pick out who was who without the names being said, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty alright. I was like, alright, and nostalgia was hitting me. And then it was when Arya, the way they did it in the show, this is where I give D&D absolute credit. Remember when Arya ran down at the front when Robert was coming, and she still had to start pulling her helmet on, and Catelyn's like, get that off. I was like, in one simple scene that was like 3 seconds, they just completely told Arya's character, without a whole chapter or build up. I was like, that's flawless. I was looking at it, God, that's flawless. Like I was literally like, oh, that's it. And even if you didn't know Arya, you know Arya. You have an idea. So this little bit. And then after the Ned Stark beheading, it was
like, they did the first season so well.
Killed it, man. Killed it. I was like, well, yeah, in season 1, what was it that pulled like y'all into? What was it like? Like if you watch the show like just before you read the books or vice versa, same. When it came when it was released, I know the majority of people was when Bran got pushed, and I don't blame them because I didn't know they were going to end the episode with that, and I was like, actually, that's the best way to end that. Well, was that the big whoa, they're killing kids? I want to see what happens next. Was that the big whoa to pull you in like?
Oh yeah, once I saw that, I looked at my friend when I was watching. I was like, we're putting the next episode on right now. Like we're binging this whole fucking season right now.
What about you, Tones? What was your holy shit? I know the Ned thing was a big one when you got invested, but what was it that kept you going, I'm interested in this show?
I mean, it probably would have to be the Bern and Shireen. I was like, you know, it was just crazy because you know, you didn't. I mean, it didn't really like show the full force or getting like burned, but it put it up to the point where the flames started licking her face, you know. Then it like put away, and then you see like how her mom at first is like all gung ho about it, and then as soon as it starts to happen, you see her like, "Fuck, maybe this ain't a good idea," and then she's like, trying like looking at Stannis, thinking Stannis is gonna be like, "Stop this," and he's like, "Fuck you," and like, and then like then you see her go hang herself, like, and she was more gung ho about the Lord of Light and shit that Stannis was ever was. And then like you think that she would have been like, you know, cool about it happening. And like you see how her like how she feel her emotion and how she feels towards Shireen, like she acts like she's not even her kid. And then how that all just comes like goes away when she sees her in like distress and she's like, no, I don't want to do this, and it's too late then. And then it's like, damn, they went that far, you know, like to burn this little girl. But then, like, it probably would have been more the Hodor thing with Bran if it had happened earlier than last season. Like, when you see, like, the whole thing, like, you're still kind of, like, you know what I mean, kind of mixed up and confused about how it happened. Like, did he do this in the past, or did he just do this? Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to make him Hodor, like, and be like a lackwit. And then for him, his whole life pretty much was set in stone to like be an imbecile his whole life, carry this old crippled boy on his back.
Before he died. Remember the last words he heard before he died horrifically, he said for the rest of his life as a youth to an adult. Like that's horrific.
Right. And then like Bran to have to watch that. Yeah, and Bran's sitting there looking at what he did, however he did it. Like even Bran's probably confused. Like, when did I do? Like, you know, you can tell it's him doing it. And then like to your whole life is laid out pretty much for you to sacrifice yourself, holding the door against a bunch of zombies, while a little cripple boy gets dragged through the snow. Like, I would kind of suck if you knew that was your like how your life's gonna end, you know. But I guess if he's simple like that, he probably wouldn't know any better anyway. So I guess it's kind of better in a way that he was simple. Because at least then he, you know, it wasn't like he had any like, you know, predetermined knowledge that he was going to do that. Like he was just happy carrying Bran around and saying Hodor every day.
Yeah, and even like if you were like an imbecile to a degree, it's like he knew. He was like he's seen zombies and shit. Like you don't have to be smart to know like there's danger. So
Right.
he is the superhero of the series in a way more than everybody, not anybody. It's like he's just he's a genuine superhero in a way. So when people make them memes about him, I get it. the chap was simple, and you can all make jokes on that. But at the end of the day, he was simple, and he still had more balls than more than the rest of us in that situation. Because regardless of how simple you were, like you know life and death. You're just looking at your kid and you see a goldfish die. What happened? So, like, Hodor Willis would have been aware of that shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, God damn, it just makes it more horrific, like, in the sense of, God damn. God damn.
Man, can you imagine if Hodor wasn't simple-minded and was actually like a trained fighter?
Oh, he'd be bad, dude.
You think anyone would be able to fuck with him?
Look at you quoting Benjamin. He'd be unstoppable, Ned.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot about that part. Was funny. Look how big he is.
Who's fucking with Hodor?
Mm-hmm.
A straight-minded
A doorstop is fucking with Hodor.
Dude, that would be the ultimate shit if like, you know, the Night King's coming with his army, and then like all of a sudden you pan over and fucking white Hodor is like in the fucking front of it, like just fucking all big and like he'd be unstoppable white, dude.
Yeah, in this modern age, they call him a white supremacist.
White supremacist.
Like, technically, he'd be an unstoppable white, a Hitler wank, wouldn't have white and blue eyes.
like how would he say Hodor in like the White Walker language? Yeah.
I don't know, Tony, forgive me. I've never mastered fucking what Chips of voice sound like. As
I wish
G.R.R. Martin
they
said.
did that like in the show, because it was pretty crazy how they just like said fuck it and like did away with it. It probably, I mean, I guess the people that are like a part of these shows and then make those decisions, they gotta know, you know what I mean, better than we do. You know, they do this for a living. So I guess if they thought it was gonna sound stupid, I guess, you know, you gotta go with it. But like even still, just as like a person that like loves the show and the whole story itself, like you just want to know what it would sound like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I always had this thing. When I seen the White Walkers, completely disappointed. I don't dice me words. Disappointed. I always said it. You look like overgrown Smurfs who had sex with ants, with birds. I'm like, that's not scary. When I read the fucking Fist of the Force Men, it was like fucking when I was a kid playing Resident Evil all over again. I was shitting myself, going, oh, what is that coming up? All that noise, the way it was just described, this is turned into a horror fucking story, and you can't stop turning. And they left out the Fist of the Force Men, obviously, and they gave us hard home. So I'm not shitting on them for that. I'm like, you know, one got taken away and one got put in that we never got. And sorry, my phone's going off like a motherfucker. And with the White Walkers, I always thought there should have been like a mist like gas around them. You know, it's like, how would you put the White Walkers in them without showing them? It's like, that's it. Just put a gas effect in and have these blue eyes and then just a distorted monstrous shadow. Every time they enter, just, you know, kind of an icy fog mist. So it's like, you know it's them, you know they're there, but you can't see them. I'm like, what you don't know is more terrifying than what you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Better to know than you don't. So I was disappointed. I was like, don't show us them like that. That's bullshit. That's never going to compare up to the fear that I got reading about it. You know what I mean? So I was like, don't do that. Mate, is that just me? Or is, like, what do y'all think about it?
Nah, that's not just you. The you know, the fear enticing me, but it's part of the way George writes too. You know, he's very descriptive. You know what I mean? Where so you get into it when he's describing, you know, all that shit. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Hard Home was fucking scary. Like I rewatched Hard Home not long ago, and I'm like, damn, yo. I came into this season thinking Danny was OP, but then I seen Whites in Hard Home with like 3 arrows in their head, still slicing at people, and I'm like, yo, I don't think three dragons is enough. Honestly, they got over 100,000 strong, like in swarm mode, just like, you know, doing like worse than the Boltons did in Battle of the Bastards, where they're just literally just like crawling all over each other. You know what I mean? And the only way to really kill them is to decapitate them. You know?
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, like you think I think about too, like every time they roll through an area and kill people, they're adding more and more to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's real no. See, the real question I want to know is like, how far does like his ability, the Night King's abilities, go? Like once that wall comes down, is that like that's it? Like he just steps into the south, raises his arms up, and then all the fucking dead who weren't burned in the south are now risen, or does he have to be like in the town? You know what I mean? Does he have to be in the area? You know, there's so much we still don't know. That would be crazy. Imagine if he just like walked past the wall and just raised up, and then all of a sudden, fucking, you know, you see fucking dead Tywin coming up out of the fucking where the Sept of Baelor, like the ruins of the Sept of Baelor and shit. That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. Oh, that'd be fucking crazy. Did you ever play The Last of Us and the Clickers? Did you ever hear the noise the Clickers made?
Yeah, that game was pretty good.
Yeah, when I go back to reading the Fist of the Force Men, you know when the Whites were coming up the mountain and they're forced looking down, like that noise, you know, the clicker noise. That's all I just always put. Like when I hear the clicker noise in The Last of Us, I was like, oh, that's Fist of the Force Men. My fucked up head was like, that's what it sounded like. Just.
You remember them
fucking?
You remember them big fucking dudes in that game? They were like all bloated, and they threw those like fucking gas bomb things at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those fucking things were crazy too. You had to like run around like shooting them and fucking make sure they didn't hit you with those fucking green gas bombs they threw at you.
That's the house father at Terrell if he got turned into a white. Fat motherfucker. I used to love that cunt, man. He's like one of the nice cunts, you know. He's just in the wrong world. He's like one of the people who went to the cinema and loved Lord of the Rings, and then he got thrown into Game of Thrones. So that's what you're supposed where he's a fucking Aragon fanboy or something, you know. On Wednesday came. Do you remember? And then he nods at Jamie when you were at I rewatched that motherfucker and was like, you are awesome. How can you not like? What's his name? Fuck me. I have bollocks. We just know him as Tubby Nice.
Base Tyrell, you talk about?
Mace Tyrell. Mace Tyrell. I was nearly about to call him Mance. That's who I let one of you all say it. Mace Tyrell. I like him. Is anybody a Mace Tyrell hater, like, for real? He's a buffoon. It's like, is he?
I don't think you can be. I don't think you can be. Yeah, because yeah, Olane is really the one that runs that house.
Right. Yeah, Mace is like that fucking like that old like grandfather. Just like he's like almost like lost his wits, but he's still like there enough to like you could talk to. Like he's just fucking out there with some of the shit he does. I love when he like rolls up and he fucking just starts singing when meets the guy at the fucking the Iron Bank. And he's like fucking serenading him and shit.
Right, you can just tell. You can tell the guy from the Iron Bank's just rolling his eyes like, "Oh God, I got to deal with this shit for how long?"
Trent was like, "What a cunt."
And then he rolls up to the Sept of Baelor like he's got a guy. He's on a horse, but he's got a guy walking his horse for him. Like, there's no need for that.
Did he? Oh, you have to rewatch that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got like little Tyrell soldiers got his fucking horse by the reins, and he's on the horse. He comes up in front of him and he gives this like big speech, and it's all loud and booming. It's funny as shit.
Yeah, and right before Jamie comes riding up like a badass onto the fucking steps of Baelor, and then he comes getting trotted out.
Yeah. Jamie just looks at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, but you remember when he gave that, like, let's push evil, and then on Wednesday came, and then he just looked at Jamie like he's a boss. You know, Jamie's just forced not to. Yeah, hurry up. Like, maybe you had too much vodkas or something, and you're getting in the taxi home. You know, that's what that nod was. You had too much. Like, I don't know. Shout out to Mace, man. Mace is Hodor with a singing ability. The dude could sing, man. You can't deny he could sing.
Yep. Rest in peace, Mace.
Yeah.
Mace was in my sector, man.
Yeah, they that was like a money saver right there. They just basically like wiped out like 5 main characters.
Kavan was in there as well, wasn't he?
Who?
Kavan. You know,
yeah. Him, Loris, Marjorie, and you got the High Sparrow. Lancel got taken out in the fucking down in the fucking dungeon little area by a little kid. Yeah,
Lancel got taken out by the Chris Hansen fucking B-sides.
Yeah, that little dude fucked him up.
Poisel got it. You know what, right? I still think it was a rough way for him to go as an old man. I would have just poisoned him.
Oh, yeah, he got it.
The Force knife, that was like, you know me, I'm not crazy into these little fucking theories of, you know, oh yeah, but this and this. Like, y'all know me, I'm just, like, I'm direct with it. But I did find it when the first time I watched it was when, I think it's in my reaction video as well, the Force stab he gets is in the back. And I'm like, that's what you get for opening the gates and backstabbing your king, you cunt. Just straight in the head. That's karma's bitch, isn't it? Stab, you prick. And then the rest was a bit too much. I was like, oh, you know, it was just continuous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always curious why they cut out that scene of him. I think it was in season 2
with Tywin.
Yeah, with Tywin, that like shows that like the whole old man thing was like an act and shit like that. You kind of got a little bit of it the one time the Horus left his place. He's kind of just like, you know, like up and sprag, like stretching out and shit. And then he like, you know, walks out like, oh, you know, like slunched over and shit. Kid stabbed him. He backhanded that little motherfucker, like, you know what I mean? So you're like, all right, he's gonna get a fight in there, but nope, he just got swarmed and went down. I was always curious. I felt like that would have built his character a little more if we knew that was all of the side. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, him just faking being old and feeble You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they cut that out.
Definitely agree with that. What did he say to Toyman? It's like, I don't want to be the highest flower in the garden. Like, I just want to be in the garden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was his answer really of that's Poisel in a nutshell. He just wants to be in the garden. And Poisel, fucking, you know, Toyman like a boss, really fishing on fucking set. Continuing acting like the G. He's like, take these to the kitchen. I'll have them for dinner. And then he knocks his head down and does the stupid walk.
Oh yeah, man. They made Tywin look like a badass. He was, for the first time you see him, he's fucking skinning his own deer and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like fucking talking mad. Like, why is that
real
still
dude?
alive, fucker? You know what I mean? Like, man.
Dude, I've done a lot of fucking deer hunting, dude, and that shit, they made that shit look pretty real. Like the way when he was skinning it, he was fucking bloody all the way up to the oven. Was he really doing it?
He was skinning the deer. That's what he said. Charles Dance is ridiculous. Like, if you skinning the deer, that's what he said.
Get the fuck out of here. That was real?
He was really skinning the deer for that scene, yeah. Really.
That's crazy.
That's when I started head going, yeah, you shit me Toyman in the books.
Yeah, dude, like, even if it wasn't real.
Yeah, it's like, that was real, man. That was a real deer he was skinning me. Because I remember it was the actor who played Jamie, Nikolai, he was saying it about Charles Dance as an actor going, it was a bit immense. You know, in one of the 4 scenes with Toyman, like, he's talking about it, like, and because that's a real deer. Like, I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like, what an actor, mate. You know, that's all. You know what? When I heard it, I was like,
dude, even if it wasn't real, that shit looks so fucking like it. Like he literally had blood all the way up to his elbows. Like,
oh, Tony, I can get you that. What is it?
no, I believe you.
I was like, no fucking way. A few slices off cut, you know, the dialogue fucking up, like, was like ingenuine. I'm like, fuck me. Because even with the fishing as well, he's fishing like a motherfucker. But obviously there was a fish set there, but it's like, you were the dude who was dancing like a tranny in Ali G, and now you're rocking Tywin. That's believable.
Yeah, I forgot about that. He was just like dressed up like a tranny.
There, it says
I see
here,
that picture everywhere.
Doesn't it? That meme ruins it. And it says here, the actor was cool with me. They showed him. Tywin Lannister, aka Charles Dance from Game of Thrones. The actor was cool with me. They showed him in a scene as Tywin skinning a stag, and then obviously I didn't click the whole link. But it's like, isn't a skinning the stag? Fuck you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, really.
Tywin, he smashed it so much. Like, he smashes the books. People go on about how the books are better. He's the anomaly. Where I'm like, Tywin on the show, he smashes Tywin from the books, hands down. It's like, he smashes him in 2. Like, fuck me. Because it's to the point where in the books, I just thought, you were a piece of shit. I'm like, on the show, the way he does it, I'm like, I can understand why Tywin is Tywin because of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, that was one instance where the show was better.
BBM in the chat, say Lannister and I Perry. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck off. No link for you, BBM, you prick.
Where the fuck BBM
I have to go, actually. He's in the chat. For a quick 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. My taxi will be here in 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. I leave my shit right till the edge, man. It's the same with me streams. I'm the same in reality.
It's literally going to be there in 5 minutes?
Yeah, the last minute.
The last minute, aren't you?
Same with me streams, man.
You're going to pull up. You're going to be sitting out front fucking waiting for you.
Sorry, I'm going to put on 2 t-shirts so the punch doesn't feel as strong. It's the wildling way, mate. The stronger the punch, the bigger the roll. Go on, BBM, what you got to say?
Stannis is the one true piece of shit.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I wasn't even trolling the lens. You all see this shit? Yeah, if you're going to compare that, wait. When I'm talking about Tywin, if you want to do a comparison to the Baratheons, then you have to troll Stefan Baratheon, not.
Nah, man, you can't throw Tywin at me. That's like the one Lannister I can't. Well, I just can't. I
Oh,
respect
you can't,
him.
and I like Tywin.
Maybe that's why, because you like Tywin. But yeah, I do respect him for his, his love of his family. But at the same time, like, what you did with Tyrion, I can't allow that shit.
But Tywin's father, Tytos, was weak. Yeah, he was a nice man, but under his rule, Lannisters would not exist. If a dude like Tywin didn't come in strong-handed, Jaime, Tyrion, or Cersei would not exist.
It's Tytos the Toothless Lion.
There you go. There's Tony in with them facts right there. And put that dude on the cereal box. It's a fact. No, I'm just saying though, it's like Tywin is ruthless and cold, but BBM, you have kids and it's your family. Now play that game. Now judge him.
No, I still don't fucks with Tywin.
How can you fuck with Cersei and not fuck with Tywin? Can you answer me that?
Same reason why. Tywin says Cersei's a fool, an idiot. I don't think so.
And he's right. Well, fool and an idiot, yeah. She's just not as smart as she thinks she is.
And I think what she did after that walk of shame, getting her revenge, seeing on the throne, I don't think that's not smart at all. You don't think that was?
Do you think, right, I'll ask you a genuine question. Do you think when she blew up the septum, do you think that beats the Red Wedding? Now you want to compare Tywin and Cersei on how to stop shit? What happened after the Red Wedding? It was done. Now what's happened after the septum was blown up? Now everyone wants to kill her.
And not everyone wanted to kill the Lannisters from the Red Wedding?
When Tywin was in
thing
control.
that Tyrion said, the North remembers?
Who did Tywin pull on side? He pulled on the Tyrells. Cersei ruined that. All the work that Tywin did to build a fucking fortune, an alliance, and an existence, Cersei has just blew all that away. Literally blew all that away. So yeah, I think Tywin is proved correct here when you look at the outcome in the modern age now. Cersei has a ticking time bomb on her hand. No?
Everyone has a ticking time bomb in this series.
Oh, that's life, man.
Tell me about that.
But you know what I mean? Is Tywin set up alliances. Tywin brought in the Tyrells and started marrying them around, and then
It's all due time. What's Cersei going to be doing in season 7? You just have to wait and see what happens this season. You don't think that she's going to try to make an alliance with anyone?
Breaking guest right or destroying a religion, what's worse? I think breaking guest right is completely worse, but at the same time,
You didn't answer my question there, though. I said I don't think that she's going to make any alliance in season 7.
If I can finish, is at the same time. Yeah, I'm not done. If you compare breaking guest right, the phrase broke guest right. So,
hey Johnny, Gemma's asking how long you're staying on for.
Oh yeah, Gemma, I'm literally bouncing. Sorry, I'm literally bouncing just now. I think that's the knocking door. I think that's the taxi. I'm actually bouncing. No joke.
Are they really knocking?
Yeah, hang on.
He's like, this fucking guy. He'll tell the taxi driver, he's like, hey, can you go pick her up for me? I'm on a stream.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's up, Rich?
What's up, BBM?
Man, the phones don't let you have fun when it comes to live streaming, man. It's lately, like, you can barely watch a live stream on your phone. Like, cause like, just like you, one time I was trying to tune into either here or another person's channel. Like, you keep on saying, like, he was like, remove the channel stream or something of that nature. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but the live chat was working, though. So I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, okay, like, and it was keep on going still. So I'm like, okay, either people are just saying their final shifts or something until it goes off or what. And sometimes I'm here for like 10 minutes. I'm like, wait a minute, it should have been closed off by now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Pissed me off, man. I got a Lannister related question. Perhaps you could answer for me. Maybe Tony. Why, when Tywin was hand for a long time and the kingdom was running really well at the time, why would he loan the crown all that money, knowing the crown's not going to pay him back? You know what I mean? Because like their whole financial situation is really started because he was lending the crown money. You know what I mean? Like the crown owes them like 6 million gold dragons or whatever. Those Lannisters 6 million gold dragons, and the Iron Bank, like a lot more. But like, why would you just give? You know what I mean? Because he was gonna marry Cersei into Robert anyways. You know what I mean? I don't know why. Like, why the hell did he fucking dish out 6 million of his family's fucking dollars to fucking? You know what I mean? Doesn't make much sense. Never made much sense to me.
Now, did he loan that money before or after the marriage?
I
Right
think
here, I'm literally hopping in a taxi, man. Literally. Tony is right there going, what the fuck? Yeah, taxi's right there. Last minute motherfucker, straight out. Is much love to y'all. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna stop the stream. Y'all can rock it. I'm just gonna leave it on, and then, well, obviously when we come in, fuck, I'll be a sportsman. Y'all can bounce if you want. And then the laptop will probably go into power safety, but I'll leave it open for y'all to rock on. Yeah. How about it?
Until it goes off.
It's all about the free folks, man. Y'all can still rock the fuck on.
sounds good to me. We'll hold it down for you.
I know. What the fuck are you doing? But it is what it is. Have at it, lads. Shout out to the wild. That's where the Giants bang comes from. Much love, y'all. Much love. Easy. Tony, much love. Richie, much love. Davey, much love. Gemma, everybody in the chat. Violent. Come here. I have to go. Betsy's going to charge the shit out of me.
I think he's going to but yeah, I think to answer your question, BB, I think he started lending the money after pretty much as soon as Robert sat on the throne. You know what I mean? Because I think they got married like right after that.
So it could be possible
And that's when
that he just never simply had the money, but just to secure the thought that he's still rich, he made sure it came afterwards.
Right, like I always figured it was more along those lines of like, since they are owed so much money, they have more of a say kind of on what shit goes down. It's like, yo, dude, you guys kind of owe us 6 million. You know what I mean? Like, I think if not get them a seat at the council, the small council, but but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't getting that money back unless you're fucking taking it from someone else, which maybe that was his plan all along. Just like keep Lannisters in power for as long as possible. And then eventually, the crown's money is the Lannisters' money at that point, right?
So you're talking about like the money that the crown owes Tywin, right? The Lannisters?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of a good question because you hear about how like their mines and shit are like pretty much dried up.
Right.
And like that's like their main money source.
Probably be nice right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a when you talk about like somebody's like net worth and like what they have like liquid and what they have like assets wise. Like Tywin's probably got like assets and like you know what I mean, like credit to where like he could fucking off of the things he owns, but like being able to just go roll out and grab like 6 million like out the bank kind of shit. Like I don't think he probably like has it like that. And like you said, like sometimes it's just like the it's almost the like I'm trying to think of the word like that you look like you're rich. You know what I mean? That because like you said, like they've been rich for so long that nobody's gonna think twice that maybe shit's changed overnight. It's probably gonna take a minute for them to actually like because if you look at like back with the Dance of the Dragons, like the Targaryens were at war with each other. Like the Valerians were the richest house in the kingdom. Like you wouldn't think so, but like the Corlys Sea Snake Valerian or whatever, he like used to go around kind of like a Euron thing, go to these distant lands and shit, and then bring back all kind of riches, and like you wouldn't think like a little house like Valerion's would be the richest house in the realm, and like they make a point to tell you that, like even over Lannisters, you know, or the Tyrells, whatever. And like I guess it shows like they weren't the richest forever. I mean, I guess like it in the Westerlands, you know, they have like every one of the kingdoms has their own little thing that makes them like wealthy, except for maybe like the North. Because if you look at like the North, like the Manderleys, they control White Harbor, which is the only thing that resembles a city in the North. So like they're the richest house, even over the Lord Paramount. Usually it's at least the Lord Paramount, like that's the more wealthier. But like if you look at the Westerlands, you got Lannisters are the wealthiest pretty much. Tyrells are pretty wealthy, but Tyrells get their wealth from like grain and produce kind of shit. They feed the Westeros, so it's like their own sort of like gold mine. And like as long as they control that part of it, you know, like but Littlefinger has the whole scheme where he's in the books he goes and he's like sitting on all this grain and he's not selling it because he knows winter's going to come. And then he could fucking, you know, either one, look like a savior because he's got grain. And then if something happens with the Tyrells and the crown and they don't want to give up their, I mean, what they have in their area of Westeros, Littlefinger could look like the hero because he's sitting on all his grain in the Vale. Or he could fucking put, you know, a 300%, you know what I mean, upcharge on it because he's the only one that has it. Because after it gets to the wintertime, I don't care if you're going to reach or not, you're not going to be able to grow shit. And like he makes a point about how he's like sitting on it and he doesn't sell any of it. Like Littlefinger's got all these little schemes. Like I think he even put in the crown in debt with the Iron Bank was all part of it, like one cog of his big scheme. Just constantly like spending the money, like getting money to put the crown in debt. And of course he's probably pocketed some himself, you know.
Right. Yeah, because you know what I mean. I'm seeing this season. You know what I mean. Like all the Lannister soldiers got like nice fucking outfits. The Mountains got fresh armor. You know what I mean. Cersei's got fresh outfits. Getting a big ass map painted on the fuck. I'm like, where's this money coming from? You know what I mean.
Exactly. That's like one of the things I wonder. Is like, we see the Mountain with freaking new armor that's like modeled after like Cersei's new queen outfit. So it's like, where is this coming from? It's like, did they always have this armor or something?
Right.
I don't know.
Didn't the Castameres, the mine that they were, you know, all drowned, wasn't that a gold mine as well?
What was it?
That time when the mine that Tywin flooded all the Castameres in.
Yeah, they're not the only house. There's other houses that had gold mines, silver mines, and shit. Yeah, that's what they did. They hid in the mine, and he just diverted the river or whatever it was into the one entrance and pretty much drowned them.
Right, and then like made it so that a castle couldn't be built there anymore, right? Like fucked up the ground and shit.
Yeah, because they'll do that with like fertile ground. They'll like, I think it's other something like they burn it and freaking like throw salt or some shit all over it. I forget, some medieval. They did it like medieval times where they would like ruin the ground so nothing could be grown on it. I forget exactly what the method is, but it's something.
Might be time to fucking dredge that mine and start fucking going in there for the gold. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure everyone that's in there is dead by now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like an unused gold mine at this point that's just flooded. You know, because Tywin was fucking pissed.
Right? Yeah, because if you look at fucking what's I gonna say, like in the book, it makes a point like Cersei like blows off the Iron Bank. Like I wish the show would have more of that plot line in it because like they always talk like this big thing. It's like it's almost like the Stark's words are like winter is coming. They always talk about the Iron Bank gets their due. So like when's the Iron Bank gonna friggin' step up and you know like start, you know what I mean, backing up what they say. And like, you know, because when you're behind that kind of money, like you can, especially they're in the same place that faceless men are. They can afford to buy one, you know, and it seems like they keep trying to back the person to take over the throne so that person can take over the debts of who was on the throne. Like it's crazy.
Right. Right, yeah, and at some point, when does that vicious cycle end? You know, because all it is just a constantly accruing debt. You know what I mean? Because like, say they're owed 12 million right now. If Dany were to remove Cersei, that means now Dany owes the 12 million, and if she couldn't do it, maybe they have to now. Maybe the Iron Bank has to pay someone an additional 5 million to take out Dany. Now that's 18. You know, that's 18 or 17 million dollars that's owed to the Iron Bank. And if you know what I mean, if they're not successful, like Stannis, I don't know how much money they lost on Stannis. Like, where do they accrue that? You know what I mean? Like, how do they, you know, do they back someone who's like, yeah, you gotta, but now you owe us what we paid Stannis and what we're giving you to take out Cersei since Stannis fucked up the first time. You know, like how does that even work?
Yeah, it makes you wonder how they make any money.
Right.
Wasn't like Littlefinger was one who was like taking some of that money?
Yeah, he had to be pocketing some of that money in the beginning.
I'm sure he was skimping. Master of coin. You know what I mean? When you're dealing in millions like that, you know, I'm sure, you know, a couple thousand gold dragons here and there, you know.
Yeah, people do it all the time in the real world. It's when they get greedy and start going too far, it's when they get caught.
Right. Like even in that first small council meeting that Ned was in, he goes, you know, the Lannisters, we already owe them mad money. What's another 70 grand? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
right, yeah, that feast probably could have cost 50 grand, and he's just pocketing the 20, and no one's going to ask any of the, you know, no one would be none the wiser, you know.
Yeah, like Robert, like he was a conqueror. Like he wasn't meant to rule. So like he was fine with all these the council people ruling the realm. He didn't give two shits as long as nobody came to him and complained about it going, you know, bad. He didn't give a fuck. That's why Littlefinger, that was a perfect position for Littlefinger at the time because he had a king that didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and he only got that because Liza Tully was married to Robert's hand at the time,
right?
You know.
Yeah, like Littlefinger is like a success story. Like he comes from a tiny little house on the smallest finger in the fingers. He becomes, you know, master coin of the Iron Throne of Westeros. Like some little dude. He didn't even really. He had little what's it called, Midler Point or whatever. But outside of that, like up until he was gifted Harrenhal, which is pretty much a ruin. Like nobody even wants to go there because it's bad luck. It just gave him a title, so it made it like because in the book it's more of a thing for him to marry Liza. It's for him to have like this title to make him a lord. Like even though she probably would have married him anyway, just made it look better, I guess.
Yeah.
But he had nothing really. Like he came from like completely nothing, and like it becomes one of the most powerful players in this. He's not a big man. He's not martially gifted in any way. Can't fight. He's just good at, you know, doing the intrigue.
What's up, Jebba?
Hi, how's it going? Is my audio working? I've got a new microphone.
Yeah, the audio's working.
Oh yeah, it's nice and clear.
How about if I hold my mic really close like this?
Now you sound like you're on the radio.
Is that... sorry, I was ranting in the comments, so I thought I'd just come and rant live with you guys.
Easier to talk than it is to type.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, especially when you make as many typos as I do. Hi, Rich. Hi, Bro Black Mountain. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this whole the Lannisters are broke thing, it's complete bullshit. This is a major plot point that the show fucked up. Never have done this. It makes me so angry because it makes no sense. The Westerlands are literally the size of England. And apparently, like, Casterly Rock itself is hollow. Have you seen the size of Casterly Rock? There's no way. They've just randomly run out of gold overnight. Not a chance. And even if gold was in slim supply, that would benefit the Lannisters because they could sell for higher. We're talking about deflation and inflation. If they were using that gold to mint new coinage, that would lead to hyperinflation, which Tywin Lannister would never do because he's an idiot. This is basic economics. And the show's argument for why they did this was to make it easier for the audience to understand the plight that Cersei was in, which is rubbish. We're Game of Thrones, and I'd like to think that people watch Game of Thrones have a certain degree of intelligence. And I think the mechanics of basic economics are not beyond us. So to just sort of throw that line in there, oh yeah, the Lannisters are skint, the gold has run dry, it just really annoys me. So I just really wanted to drop it just to say that, really. What do you think about that? I mean, this is one of the many changes.
Because they're not even writing the show like that's the truth anymore either. They're almost like retconning themselves by, you know, outfitting the mountain with new armor and, you know, having like, you know, the best shit all over the place, you know, like Cersei's just spending money like it's no one's business still, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, all else, you know, all is still good in Lannisport, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
For me, when I saw it, I just see it as, you know, the show just wanted to make, I don't know, the Tyrells seem like a little bit more richer than the Lannisters in a sense. But even then, what they had was basically just food because they didn't have anything in freaking King's Landing at the time. Either that or somehow later in the series, you know, the Iron Bank was going to be some major players who's going to go after the damn crown. But that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when the the long night comes, you can't eat gold, right?
True.
So you know, but they could have said that. They could have made that point without, you know, making the Lannisters seem broke at the same time. You know what I mean?
They could have quite easily have just said Cersei's going to refuse to pay it because Cersei's Cersei. You know, like 3 million, there's 6 million gold dragons in debt. 3 million of those were owed to House Lannister. She could just say, well, the 3 that are owed to my house and the 3 from the god, that evens itself out. Screw you guys, I'm not going to pay. Rather than, we can't afford to pay. I know there's this bitter irony with the Lannister always pays his debts and now they're broke. But this is just a book change that I cannot get on board with. There's several. But that is a big one, a big bone of contention for me personally.
Another reason could be like, you know, Tywin was saying that at the time when he wanted to marry Cersei to Loras. So that could have just been like one argument. He was like, you know what? Just let me just say that we are broke to try to encourage her to actually just marry him. He could just simply be lying.
Yeah, that works. That I would be more on board with that than this entire mine the size of England just ran out overnight.
It's D&D logic here. That's the only thing we can say. That's the answer. When something doesn't make sense, yeah, just D&D logic.
Yeah, I think there's, after the success of the Red Wedding, the hubris that it gave and the validation that they received from the reception of the Red Wedding, they've abused some of that power, in my opinion. I'm really excited for season 7, but I'm also nervous about what else are they going to fuck up. Are we going to have Dawn, another random rape plot that completely diminishes a character's arc? Things like this. I'm excited, but I'm also worried in equal measure. We shall see what they do with it.
The real question is,
I'm more worried for season 8.
Who's Tyrion going to marry and bear a son with so House Lannister stays, you know, around?
Well, he's still married to Sansa.
Oh, he's still
Sansa's,
they never.
It was never annulled. It was never annulled, though.
Never consummated either.
Never consummated either.
But it's never been annulled. It can be annulled because it was never consummated, but it hasn't actually officially been annulled yet, which means this marriage with Ramsay was null and void from the beginning. Yes, it was never consummated, but somebody needs to step in and actually sign an official declaration. Someone from the Faith of the Seven needs to step in and say, okay, yes, this is now annulled. Until that happens, they are still married.
So it's not one of those things where you could just switch to the old gods and not give a fuck about Faith of the Seven anymore? No. So then the Rhaegar thing, Rhaegar would have needed to have had his marriage annulled then. So there's got to maybe that's what Sam finds. Not necessarily a document stating Rhaegar and Lyanna were married, but a document stating that Rhaegar and Elia were annulled because, you know, if you're saying your vows in front of a weirwood tree, that's it. You know what I mean? Just you and the person and the septon that was there, you know, are who's seen it. And then it's up to you or a maester of the time to send that to the Citadel for, you know, for documentation.
I've looked into this a lot. I've actually looked a lot into the medieval history that George drew a lot of his inspiration from. I've looked into the legality of it. I've looked into the legality of the Faith of the Seven specifically, and there's no other way around it. Divorce isn't a thing. Polygamy is not allowed. Yes, the Targaryens did it. Aegon was married, and then the Faith of the Seven jumped in and said, yeah, we're not really on board with this whole incest and polygamy thing. They kind of let the incest slide because the Targaryens, oh, you know, bloodlines, purity, blah, blah, blah. But the polygamy, yeah, they agreed that they would stop that. And then Maegor tried it on, and the militant faith jumped in, and that kicked off, and that was a huge issue. And he's the last Targaryen king that ever attempted that. Rhaegar can do what he wants, but ultimately, it's the legality of it. And the only way I can see that Jon Snow is legitimate, which I believe he is if Rhaegar had his marriage to Elia Martell annulled.
Which I wouldn't think at that time. I don't think she would be against either. You know, if she was really in love with Rhaegar and kind of bought into the shit he bought into, he probably would have convinced her that it was what needed to be done, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think she was probably on board with that. She was also essentially a prisoner in the Red Keep. He refused to let her or the children leave because he thought they were her.
He didn't fully trust Dorne, yeah.
No, exactly. They were essentially his bargaining chip, weren't they? That didn't really pan out, did it?
Yeah, because you would think he would have sent her and Rhaegar's kids with Rael to Dragonstone with Viserys, but no, he kept them there. He, I guess, didn't fully trust Dorne. Yeah, I didn't think about the whole marriage being annulled until you said it earlier. Like I was thinking about because I just go back to thinking about the polygamy that was. But you make a good point. Like it really hadn't been since Aegon. Like you said, like Maegor tried it and they freaked out.
Yeah. Saying that, I mean, and obviously this hasn't happened in the books, but in the show, the faiths kind of and stuff. So I don't know how much clout they have anymore. Does that mean that Rhaenyra and Aegon, Rhaegar's children to Elia, are they no longer legitimate? So if Aegon, it opens up more questions than it answers, unfortunately. But I think the show are going to sort of whitewash it and just keep it really, really simplified, you know?
Yeah, because even towards the end, didn't Aerys actually revoke Rhaegar's claim and give it to Viserys after, like right before?
He was going to, but he never got the chance.
No. Oh, okay. I thought he actually had gotten it done.
Yeah, but there were rumors that was going to happen. Then, of course, Viserys was crowned unofficially at Dragonstone. He never sat on the Iron Throne. He's not going to go down in the history books as a king, is he? As much as any of the others. But yeah, it's too many bloody questions. But and I understand. I know the show has to keep it simple for that reason, because wow, it would. Can you imagine if it was the faithful rendition of the books that we all wanted it to be? That's impossible. That's too much of an ask.
Yeah, it's always so difficult to when we try to think of like theories and stuff like that. We always put like like thoughts and motivations that are from the book that the show just didn't bring up or doesn't even imply in the slightest. But we're like, no, it's going to happen because Tyrion always wanted to do this. But in the show they never said Tyrion wanted to do that, so why would he want to do that? Like as far as casual show watchers know, they never know that Tyrion was actually married before.
No.
The casual
That's
show
another plot
watcher
line. Don't get me started. The Taisha thing,
No.
the Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
They had
you've
the
got me up on what
opportunity.
I'm triggered. You've triggered me again.
But
They had
I thought in the
to-
show
every
he does
opportunity.
address that. I thought in the show he said that he married that was a prostitute, whatever, or he was just with.
Yeah, with Bronn and Shay when they're having their
Mhm.
drinking game. Yeah, but when Jamie comes to, I know you've read the book, so you know this. When Jamie rescues Tyrion, he tells him
Yeah.
Taisha wasn't a whore, and this is why he goes and kills his dad, and it's Taisha on his mind, not Shay. Shay was just a whore.
Yeah, and he even brings up like later on Tyrion how like he you could see the anger he has for Jamie after.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did find out in book and show difference there is that he hated, Jamie for that, but in the show wise, it's like they still want them together. It's interesting.
Is there an emoji for whores?
Yeah, because I was talking to a couple of friends and we were talking about that whole face like debacle thing that happened, like how they all just got basically like blown up. Like we were wondering how they're going to deal with that. Like you said, the show's probably just going to skip right over it. The kid, you said, keep it simple. And, like we were talking about would like Cersei maybe make it like like say like the crown is the highest authority in the faith and in the realm, like kind of thing. Just because she isn't going to want anybody probably more powerful than her, but I don't even see him going that route with it.
Yeah, she blew up the Sept, but that's not the only. The Seven. There's still the Starry Sept in Old Town. There are Septons and Scepters all across Westeros. So, there was 200 people in there, and tops with the faith of the Seven. Yeah, they killed the High Sparrow, but there's one man leaves, another man fills his shoes. It's always the case.
Yeah, true.
Is there like a central like Sept in Essos where like that all? Because then they come over with the Andals from Essos.
Like they Andalos.
They did.
They never had like a great Sept over there.
No. Apparently, it was the voyage across from Essos to Westeros that prompted the uprising of the Faith of the Seven, because the legends go that the Faith were with them on the ships. The mother, the warrior, they were all actual people that were with them on the ships as they traveled and saw like a safe passage to Westeros. But there's a lot of religions in Essos, but none of them are the Faith of the Seven. They have a sept in Braavos, but certainly the further east you go, you get into some really shady, weird religions like the Black Goat of Cahor and the Weeping Woman of Lys, and then it all starts to get a little bit sacrificial lammy.
Almost every free city has a different religion.
Yeah, it's masterful world building. It really is. They're still trying to find a whore emoji. Violence not doing a bad job. We're getting there. Just there you go. Yeah, we've got some money. Yeah. This is coming together nicely. I like it. Oh.
Yeah, I wonder if if Cersei gonna even take blame, or is she even gonna just say, "Look, I did it. I'm queen," or she think he's gonna pawn it off that it's some other thing at work that blew up the Sept?
I think he's gonna blame. She's gonna blame Dorne, thinking that she was there. They thought I was there and fucking did that shit. But I mean, Wildfire I think is kind of just like stamped with fucking the Lannisters though. After the Battle of Blackwater, like anyone in King's Landing would know, like, oh, them Lannisters using that Wildfire again. There we go. But I think she'll just, to Jamie, she'll just blame Dorne or blame. So you can't blame the Tyrells because they were there. You know what I mean? But the Dornish wouldn't give a fuck about the Tyrells, so they'd be the perfect ones to lay the blame on.
See, if it was like the books, like she, like in the books, she always everything little thing that happened, it's Tyrion somehow pulling the strings, like Tyrion did that, or Tyrion's doing this, it's like, but the show they don't really, hint on that too much about how everything's on Tyrion.
She could
maybe
say
she
Annabelle
could
and
throw it
Danny. You could say there was like Danny loyalists. Like once they found out that she, touched down on Dragonstone, they could just say, "Oh, that was just probably an early message or whatever." You could do it.
I'm not sure. I think she's going to blame somebody because Jamie, he's pretty gullible when it comes to Cersei, unfortunately. He's completely blinded by her. He's not an idiot. And if that had been somebody else, he would have never had the wool pulled over. But with Cersei, oh, it's so frustrating. But yeah, she's his Achilles heel, definitely. I don't know who she's going to blame, but did you say, I literally watched this episode last night, actually, where the final scene where she's crowned at the end. And did you see the faces of the people in the throne room? And apparently in the script, the final line for Cersei is that Lena Headey has to give a face that says, Cersei Lannister invites everybody in Westeros to go fuck themselves. In the script. And I could see Lena Headey's face, and I'm like, oh, she nailed that. That was beautiful. But that in itself suggests that she doesn't care.
But she might just tell the truth, period.
I
hope she does. I hope she does.
Might
she might end up blaming it, but I'm still I just want to at least hopefully that she actually does own up to it and says, yeah, I did it. I have enemies, and this is what happens.
Right.
That's just a perfect message right there.
Yeah, because you really can't blame her for Tommen jumping out the window either, killing himself. That's kind of his decision.
Well, she did murder his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did he?
He could have just get a new one, He could easily get a new one. He's a catch. He can get a new one.
He's a catch.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she. Yeah, actually, I was convinced she was going to lie. I didn't know who she was, but now actually, I'm wondering: is she just going to say, "Yeah, where are you going to go? Who's going to support you? You're with me. You're my twin brother. Everybody knows you're the father of our dead children. Who's going to take you in? Who's going to want you? It's me and you. We're the only ones that count." Something like that in the trailer.
If he does get pissed at Tommen, she'd just be like, well, make another. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because this whole sort of motherly love thing as well that they portray on the show. Book Cersei's not. Her children are an extension of her. She loves them, but she doesn't actually know what love is. She's way colder in the books. Way colder. Going to be a twist, and Jamie would probably stick around if that was the case. That's the only thing that would surely make him stick around at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and especially last season, he told Edmure, he's like, I'll kill you, your unborn baby, burn the river run and the twins to the ground to get back to Cersei. So could he really get pissed off if she blew up a couple people? To help it make him be able to be with her a little bit easier.
It's still gonna dampen their relationship because again, how he became the Kingslayer by killing the Mad King for basically doing the same thing what Cersei just did. So he would be a hypocrite if that did not hurt him at all.
There's a difference between blowing up all of King's Landing and blowing up just the Sept with mostly her enemies inside. You know what I mean? It's not
how everyone says in almost every argument against me. Did certain casualties died? Yes, there were certain casualties there that died. So again, innocent did die there. So it's still the same thing. It's no black and white. Is it gray area? Yes, but come on, it's still the same.
But I'm saying the ratio of innocent to enemy in the Sept was way greater than the ratio of innocent, to enemy when it came to Ares blowing up the entire King's Landing.
500,000 people he says he saved.
Yeah.
500,000. So you're talking 250-ish, maybe guesstimate to compared to 500,000. It's still pretty shitty what she did.
Really though? I should have made her from the walk of shame, you know, and like everyone despised her, like even more, like having no actual respect. Even though she never truly had that respect, it was just always just for show. How people respected her, but then it was just like total like nothing. Because like truly now no one really cared about her until blowing up the set. Everyone's like, okay, let's go back to actually fearing her now. She's the shit again. Long may she reign. Let me just go back and do whatever I have to do.
This is the thing, and I think this is going to be Dany's downfall. She's so full of her own self grandeur and her privilege and her right to, this is my throne, this is my land, I am the rightful blah blah blah. And I think she's going to come in, I've got dragons, I've got an army, I've got the Dothraki, I've got the Unsullied, no one can take me down. And anybody that underestimates Cersei is a fool.
Yeah.
Whether you've got dragons and this is Cersei Lannister, and that was the whole point of the Sept, to show that you do not mess with Cersei Lannister.
Yeah, I'm praying.
Cersei Lannister,
praying
you know.
I'm praying Tyrion kind of beats that into her mind. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because he's the only shot she's got. Really.
Yeah. And then that goes back to like the very first season with like Ned, like when you're dealing with not just Cersei, but like the Lannisters as a whole, like you can't fight honor against something like that. Like, cause he when he brought that paper up that, you know, he wrote for Robert and saying that he was protecting her realm and he was supposed to put till Joffrey came of age, but, you know, said that he was a bad. Did you really think she was going to take that paper and just, okay, we're going to head to Castle Rock, we can keep the throne? Like, you can't fight that kind of way with that type of person. And as I said, like we were talking about it earlier, like that's the problem with Dany, I think too, is she's just way too overconfident. And like you said, like Cersei's not just gonna roll over. Like she's just not.
Oh no.
You know, and for her, if they think that's gonna happen, if anybody thinks that's gonna happen, you're a fool. Because like if you haven't learned by now that like she's either gonna go out kicking and screaming, or she's gonna, you know, outwit you and beat you somehow.
Yeah, I feel like it all depends on how they want to play it. You know what I mean? Because like we're kind of getting like a repeat of history kind of deal. You know, it's like a kind of recurring theme that's going on. And if that's the case, you know, Aegon had no troubles taking over the Seven Kingdoms with his 3 dragons. You know what I mean? But we never got that juxtaposition of the Night King coming down and facing such a thing. I kind of feel like this season is just more going to be, you know, Daniel take a couple small L's in the battle, but for the most part, she's just gonna wipe right on through, and then the real battle comes when, you know, the Night King comes down, and no one's got anything for that.
But I think with Dany, I don't think that she's gonna do more of just like hurry up and like fight battles. Gonna go in and like with my 3 dragons and conquering. Because if she wanted to do that, she would have done that first episode and not just simply just go straight to Dragonstone. You know, I think just what Varys said is like we want someone on the throne who the people love. So she has to like work up that ladder. Because for you know, if she actually does win the people, it'll even be like an even more easier fight to actually even beat Cersei.
Yeah, and you're not going to do that burning down King's Landing, like.
That's conquest. That's conquest. She has to go in by winning the love of her people. That's the same thing like with Stannis. Is like, okay, with Stannis, again, he's like smart, just even like leaving at one point in the beginning, you know, when he found out, you know, about the Joffrey not being like the true heir and whatnot, though. But at the end, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter about it's your birthright, or you know, what Ned said, like, oh, he's the next in line. It's like, it really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, Dany's best play would be to get control of Highgarden, get control of the food, and seal off King's Landing and let the commoners, you know, smoke Cersei out. That's going to be her best bet to take care of her. Make sure to keep her in King's Landing, and then, you know, cut off all supplies. You know, do it just like a siege style, and, you know, just keep them there. That's like, you know, that's going to be her best bet. You know, take out the army that's out fighting, taking over Highgarden, which, you know, based on the trailers, I'm assuming that's what that Field of Fire deal is. You know, once you wipe out the majority of the army, you could seal off King's Landing, and she could stay in there until she fucking starves to death. You know, that's got to be Dany's play. Because eventually the commoners are gonna be like, "Yo, where's our food?" Look up to the Red Keep and take care of know what needs to be taken care of. And then people be like, "Oh, I want that Dragon Queen. You know, she's got all the food. You know, she's got dragons and all the food. You know, I feel like she should probably be the one in charge. You know what I mean? Like you said,
That's exactly right.
She's got to get the commoners behind her.
Yeah, can you the chapter where the riot of King's Landing goes on and all the small folk, and they're all King Renly, King Stannis, King Joffrey, and then they're all just basically bred.
Yeah,
kings. We just want to be fed, and on the show, Jorah says something similar to Dany, that they don't really care who rules them. They just want to be fed. They want to be safe. Just basic stuff, and like you said, if that's taken away from them, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, because there's commoners that still speak highly of Aerys because the realm was just run so well when he was king. Maybe they're just commoners. They don't know that really Tywin was the one that was doing all that was making sure that shit was run. All they know is that Aerys was king and I was being fed at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. An Arya chapter where she's in the Riverlands and there's an old woman and a man who have been held captive, and they say, oh, this would have never happened under the king, God rest his soul, kind of thing. And she says, what, King Robert? And they say, no, King Aerys.
Right. So now when they hear a Targaryen's come back with 3 dragons, and is linked up with the person with the house that's in control of all the food. Yeah,
absolutely.
See, but I can see like some of the people maybe having a problem with Dany, because even though Dany might be a Targaryen and she might have been born in Westeros, she's coming with a foreign army, and that could be sometimes even Cersei might be bad, but they might look, well, Cersei's at least one of us in a way, and she's coming over with barbarian Dothraki and I don't care how much they are alliance they have with Dany, you can't break an ideology and a culture like that overnight just because they think she's this great dragon rider. They're not just gonna stop raping and pillaging because they're backing her. That's something if it was realistic, at least I could see the show just going right over that, but that I could see the people having a big problem with that.
Yeah, and that's the real question is what happens when she wins the throne? Where do the Dothraki go? Does she send them on ships back to fucking,
Yeah, it's the same wildling thing in the north.
Like, thanks, see ya.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
The gift is only so big.
The Ironborn as well, when she has that, reaping and raving no more, that's our way, no more. Bullshit. Not a chance. Like that would be up to Yara anyway. And like even Yara's not, there's no way. This is, we're talking thousands of years worth of a culture. We're not doing that anymore, it's fine.
It would be messed up if the dragon just simply burned them all off. Because in the trailer, you do see some Dothraki on fire. So you just imagine if one of them just laid waste to the entire army during the battle.
Yeah, well, that's the question: is how is she controlling these other 2 dragons? You know what I mean? Because as far as I've gathered, they kind of just go based off of what Drogon's doing. Because she tells Drogon, Dracarys, which is fire, he does it, and then they do it after him, assumingly at the same target. But she's not. I'm assuming she can't yell you go over that way and flank left, you flank right, and Drogon, you head him straight forward. In none of the trailer do we see all 3 of them battling in the battlefield at least at the same time. So someone's got to if they're just roaming around Westeros, still burning up the farmers' children and the sheep and shit like that. Someone's got to get in control of these other 2 dragons. The real question is who's going to control these other 2 dragons?
Yeah, me and Johnny were joking about that last week. Where all they'd have to do is have the whole the other side just start yelling Dracarys, and the dragons just go crazy and burning up everything.
Right. Yeah. Like, can anyone who speak High Valyrian, like, can Missandei just walk over there, like, speak High Valyrian, like, yo, go over there and fuck with that dude, and then they're just gonna go do it? You know what I mean? Like, someone's got to get in control of these dragons. I want Tyrion and Jon on dragons this season.
I think we might see one of them on a dragon this season.
I want in that scene in the trailer where Grey Worm's on the boat, seemingly looking like he's gonna go break into Castle Rock. I want to see Tyrion up in the sky on a dragon, like telling him, like, yeah, go for it right now. That's what I need in my life.
I'm gonna have to step out, guys. I've got a stream with Kyle coming up in about 25 minutes, so I'm gonna get behind the scenes and get organized with him. But thanks for having me on. It's well, really is.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
It's always fun shooting the shit.
Peace out, guys.
Later.
See you later. But seriously,
Yeah, like,
how are they controlling these dragons?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We were just talking about it last week. It was like you could just, you know, like the only thing you ever hear say is your cars. Okay, now, even if you don't know High Valyrian, if you heard that, you know, you at least make it sound like that. And you had a whole like army on the side just screaming your cars, and they don't know who to listen to. They just start burning everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you never hear, even in the histories, like, of any one Targaryen or any one dragon rider, period, having control of 3 dragons.
Right. No. Yeah. It's always like one dragon per one rider at a time.
Right.
You know,
and after maybe a rider dies,
or the dragon dies, then you
Right.
could swap, but never before or after that. You know.
now, I'd be surprised that the 2 Rhaegal and Viserion aren't too, you know, happy with her in the first place, locking them up like that. They were pissed when she went down there one time, and they were just shooting fire. Yeah, they were like, "Fuck you, get out of here."
Right, and she ain't locking them up again. You know what
Hell
I mean?
no.
So what are they going to be doing?
And like, what, you gonna build a whole new dragon pit? Like, the old dragon pit is fucking a ruin.
Right.
And then when they do that, they become stunted. They don't grow. Like, it has negative effects to it too.
Yeah. Yep. Doesn't make much sense.
I don't know. I kind of see, other than somebody else riding one of them, I could probably see before that maybe Bran warging one, especially if his powers get like more and more. I could really see him warging one before the end of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you
When I
want
saw like,
go
you
ahead.
see like that shadow of the dragon like over King's Landing, that one scene. I forgot what season it was. I was like, okay, so they're like hinting at us that Bran just simply just warg into a dragon or something. That was like my first instinct.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like, you want to know my theory is because my theory. I mean, you know, this kind of dive into spoilers for anyone in the chat still, but the Northern Expedition, they said the plot leaks supposedly say that Dany's gonna come and save them at the last minute, which makes no fucking sense because, like, why would they even go up if Dany's just gonna fucking go up there and look for the fucking White Walkers themselves? And why the hell are they even up there trying to get one? You know what I mean? That kind of just erases that whole plot right there. But what would make more sense to me is if at the last moment Bran wargs either Viserion or Rhaegal to go save Jon. Like, he's in the crows, you know what I mean? Looks up, sees Jon and all them getting fucked up. Is like, oh, yo, I got to go rescue this dude. Wargs the dragon and uses that to go save them. You know, and that would make more sense to me than Dany just showing up out of fucking nowhere.
If Bran wargs into a dragon, it dies. I'll be very pissed because that's like the second time now he's gonna warg into something that I really kind of care about, and it's just gonna die. But we know Hodor is probably a white right now, and there's gonna be a white dragon now. So it's like, yo, he's just basically fueling the army for the damn Night's King.
That's the thing, though. Dragons are cold-blooded still, right? Could they even go up north and survive?
I guess maybe the whole fire aspect probably keeps them more. If they were just like a straight cold-blooded animal without the whole fire thing, I could see. But maybe because of the fire, like they just run hot anyways, probably.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you said that, like if it wasn't for the whole fire aspect, oh hell no. Like you even see like I went down we go to Florida in like September every year, and like you literally see at night like so many snakes on the road because like it get cool at night, and then like because the asphalt like it keeps the heat, and they come out onto the asphalt for the heat, and it's crazy. Like they just are all over the fucking place. Like you're constantly running them over and shit, especially by like the Everglades. And it's nuts. Like because it's a drastic thing. Like even like 10 degrees difference could like they slows them down completely.
Right. You know,
Yeah,
and that's the whole other thing too. Like if you're Jon Snow, like say some people are agreeing with you that they need to go up there. You have a decent sized army. Are you even letting the Night King try to get to that wall to take it down? Like I feel like if I was Jon, like I'd be like, no matter what, I cannot let him get south of the wall. It just it'd be to just take whatever forces you have and just stop him from getting to the wall. You know, and the wall is the last fucking defense. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it doesn't make sense that the wall just, you know what I mean? He's just gonna walk up, like casually just walk up there, take the fucking wall down, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Because like if he makes it south of the wall, like Westeros is fucked, bro. Like fucked, bad. You know, if I was him, I'd be like, yo, I can round up. You know, because by the time Cersei and Dany are done fighting, how many troops are you really talking about now? You know what I mean? Like, assuming Dany wins, that means the Lannisters have no fucking troops. So why does Cersei need to get on board to fight the Whites if the Lannisters have no troops? And if in that process they took out half of Dany's forces, now Dany's half the forces shy that she needs. You know what I mean? So literally there's only, depending on how that battle goes, there's one of two people that really are the only ones you need to, you know, get on board with the White Walker problem. You know, everyone else should just fall in line. You know?
Yeah, I wonder how. Go ahead, Dave.
No, here's the thing. Like, well, if he gets the dragon, like just like before the wall even comes down, it's like, could he just simply just ride over the damn wall and then he'd just be like just raising up the dead? Period.
You know, I don't know. Wasn't there a thing where like a ward or something like that fucking bird tried to fly over the wall and it blew up or something? Wasn't there something that happened like that or something?
Didn't whatchamacallit, a white even like reanimated be over the wall anyway? So it's like,
yeah, well, I think that he made it over the wall because the members of the Night's Watch brought the bodies through the wall. You know, sworn brothers of the Night's Watch brought the corpses through the wall. So I think that would be like if the Night King could like get Dolorous Head or someone actually more someone of the old gods that swore to the Night's Watch. I feel like just because this Night's Watch thing goes back to where it was only the old gods, and every brother had to swear in front of a weirwood tree. You know what I mean? And at the Night Fort, only brothers who swore to the weirwoods could say the words and the weirwood mouth would open up. Like I feel like if the Night King was just able to grab a hold of a brother of the Night's Watch who was of the old gods, he'd be able to just walk them right through. You know, that'd be the only way that those reanimated Whites in season 1 on the other side of the wall coming back. That's the only way that makes sense. Is if because brothers of the Night's Watch brought the bodies over.
But still, like his branding on Bran, like that's probably gonna be the way that he's probably still going to get over there. Because just like the moment he just branded Bran, he was able to actually go and like freaking kill the Blood Raven.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. I didn't know. Was that just like, was that thing like a homing beacon? You know what I mean? Because once they both woke up and Blood Raven was like, now he knows where we are, like 5 minutes it took them and they were outside. You know what I mean? Like they must have like some warping, teleportation fucking shit going down there as well. Even in the Hardhome episode, like him and like his fucking horseman people were all up on the ridge. And all of a sudden, like Jon runs like 30 feet into the fucking 30 feet into the boat, and all of a sudden the Night King's just down on the ground walking towards the fucking shoreline. You know,
Yeah, that
they move.
even like what point in time did like Bran warg into once he touched that whatever the tree and then he just wore. We don't know like what time frame. So it could have been like a week ago. The Night King found out and he's probably just simply just on his way there or something. I don't know. But even then, like the Bloodgrave, I think he just simply knew eventually he was going to come.
Yeah.
So I think he's just seen every possibility, every future. And I think every time he kept on saying like, "You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet." I think he was like just trying to warn him about the impending future that could happen, but it was inevitable. It's like Bloodraven's death was going to happen, and possibly in any future. So again, this is like more reason why he was just simply just training Bran.
Yeah, because you could tell too. He was like grilling the Night King, even though he was still warged in the vision. Like he knew he was right there, like staring at. He definitely knew it was coming at that point.
Yeah, I was wondering, with like the I guess like you pretty much take it as I guess the Tarleys are backing Cersei. Like I wonder what happens. Like does Cersei go to like Randall Tarley or summon him to King's Landing and it's like, look, we're getting rid of the Tyrells, or they go about that already and then like they tell the Tarleys, look, you fight with us, we'll give you Highgarden in the Reach. Like what makes them, because even back when, you know, Robert's Rebellion and like especially in the book, like they're a little more like behind the Tyrells. And like even though Mace Tyrell, like everybody knows it's Tarly that wins their battles, but Mace Tyrell is constantly taking, you know, the credit for him. And like what is it about like in this season that's gonna make the Tarleys like fight for the Lannisters? Like I was always wondered that.
I think it's exactly what you said. I think they're going to go to him with the offer, like, listen, you help us take over Highgarden, we'll make you Wardens of the South or whatever. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing too. Like they were always like staunch like supporters of the Targaryens back in the day. Like even though they were behind the Tyrells because that's their liege. Like you would think it would be, you know what I mean, more likely that they'd come to back Dany. But yeah, like you said, you pretty much get the hint that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, there's a few examples of that too, because you know what I mean. Like Alistair Thorne fought for the Targaryens. Yeah, I mean he did it not knowingly. He stabbed fucking Rhaegar's son. You know what I mean? Up at the wall.
Yeah,
unknowingly, but he still did it. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hope they don't fucking shit the bed, man. Because like last season, they really like dragged it out. The first two episodes really just like drug, and it was just like things started off real slow. Like you hope they don't do that with this season because of the fact that they only have 7 episodes. Like you hope that it takes off and stays on that pace. But I just know with the show, like anything's friggin' possible.
Yeah, it's important to remember too that like, you know, they write the show for show casuals, not you know, guys like us that live Game of Thrones every day. You know what I mean? Like we know wholeheartedly every scene. You know, there's going to be people that are tuning in episode 1 that don't remember what happened last episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm hoping they stick it to just like the first third to the first half of the first episode, catching us back up. You know, and then right to the action, because you know they, like you said, they have to do it just because, you know, not everyone's like us who are on this shit all the time, you know. So yeah, and that goes back to the whole, you know, them writing things for show casuals, not for, you know, not for people who actually, you know, read the books and fucking live this shit every day.
Exactly. That's why we have freaking Grey Worm sleeping with Sandar.
Oh, come on. Everyone wants to see them two scissor.
I'd pay to see how that works out.
It's probably gonna be just oral sex, if anything. If it's more than that, that's it. Mel's around. That's it. That's my answer. Mel's around.
All right, they're gonna have to make a pit stop at the cock merchant that Tyrion was supposed to go to.
But has it truly been confirmed? Like either I'm not sure if a book confirmed it, but I'm not sure if a show. Because even like Danny mentioned that, is like, is it like all of it's gone? Yes or no? And like there was no answer.
Yeah. Like I always
Well,
wondered that.
that's like Theon too. They kind of leave in the books. They kind of leave it like, you know, in the show they kind of, you know, make it seem like no, yeah, his shit's gone. But in the books, it's a little bit more vague. You know what I mean? Like they could have sent anyone's fucking, you know, severed dick to fucking.
Well, that's still the same with the show, though. It's like we never truly seen like nothing there with Theon.
Right.
And then, you know, Ramsay just like with the pork sausage, and he's just simply thinking it. And for hours and days, he's been tortured by Ramsay, physically and psychologically. So it's like, okay, so is he?
Right.
When they were in the whorehouse in season 6, we don't know.
And if he's tied up to that cross, it's not like he can actually check, right?
That part was funny. He just like dangles it. It's like, no. It's pork sausage.
Yeah.
That'd be great if he's like, no, it really is your dick.
Right. You think Euron's gonna make Ramsay look like a little boy or a little child?
He has to. If not, why would they bring him on the show?
I heard.
Besides him marrying, the only reason why else would they bring him on the show because they need someone to combat, you know, Theon and Yara. Once they were like, if they were like planning on that team up with Danny, it's like, okay, who we know who's strong enough on the sea right now, so let's just say, okay, we're gonna bring in Euron now. That's like the only logical reason. But I just hope that they actually just make him even more crazier than Ramsay or more fearful than him.
Yeah, I would almost prefer him to not join anybody, Euron, and just be like that third dude who's off on the side, just, you know what I mean, causing a ruckus for everybody. You know what I mean? I think that would almost do him a little bit better.
But
you know?
Isn't that what he kind of is going to be doing? Because if he's going to try to like make Cersei, we'll try to get Cersei to marry him, whatnot, that's still causing ruckus for Lannisters. And then with Euron and thing,
I almost wonder if he's going to give Cersei the ultimatum, like, yo, I got the sand snakes that killed your daughter, marry me or I'm killing them. You know what I mean? Or they're coming with me, you know? And that's probably could be why she's so fucking pissed, you know, because she wants to fucking kill him herself, you know? But at the same time, he's the one that's got him.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be his bargaining chip.
Yeah, gotta be.
You know, somehow the mountain comes out of nowhere and says, you know, if it starts like killing Euron or something, then grabs him, but who knows?
It almost makes you wonder, like, why Yara and them are splitting up to the point where they can get captured. You know what I mean? Like, are they like on their way to Dorne, and that's when it you know, like, is he coming around Dorne and like just meets up with them? You know what I mean? Like, is that how it happens? Like, are they on their way to go take out someone and it happens? Is he at King's Landing with Cersei already, and then on his way leaving King's Landing, he goes, you have to go past Dragonstone. If you got 1,000 ships, you know, going through, you know, leaving King's Landing, you're going to pass Dragonstone. You know what I mean?
For we know, that's like the first meetup. Maybe Euron does go to King's Landing first. Says that, hey, Cersei, I hear, you know, about the Sand Snakes teaming up with, you know, the Greyjoys and whatnot, and Danny. So let me actually go get them for you. And in exchange, you know, you get to that.
Right.
That could be, because that would make the logical thing. Because, you know, if she doesn't know about, you know, Euron being able to defeat them, maybe like, Jaime knows. And he's like, well, he's not bullshitting you, Cersei. He's kind of telling you the truth.
Right. And then, you know, when he brings the Sand Snakes, she just kills all of them, including him. You know, that'd be a good way to fucking get him taken out, you know, where Cersei just backstabs him like he does the mission, gets the Sand Snakes for thinking he's going to, you know, become king of the Seven Kingdoms, and then she just fucking kills him. You know, she just has the mountain fucking kill him right then and there, and then kills the Sand Snakes anyways. You know, if she was a true boss, that's exactly what she did.
Well, she could have simply just still this. agree whatever he says. Once marrying him, kill him, and then just freaking take his army. That's another thing.
Yeah. Man, that's the whole other question about the whole no more raping and reaving with Dany and Yara with the fucking Ironborn. Like, what does she really expect is going to happen when Yara's like, all right, you know, I'm queen now, no more raping and fucking. She's going to get her killed. You know, that's all that's all that's going to happen. She's going to get Yara killed by her own people, you know? And with the amount that that Euron probably bled those fucking islands dry building those 1,000 ships, you know, they need to rape and reave. That's how they get the resources, you know?
Just like how the slavery didn't end the next day. You know, all of this like promising just to end, you know, pillaging and raping. It's not going to end in a day. Like maybe a year or two, or maybe just a few weeks or even hours. Like they're going to go right back to how it was originally.
All right. That's why with Dany with the Dothraki, once the war's over, she just send them back over to Essos, and it's out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the Dothraki are still raping and reaving back over there. Oh, well, you know, I'm over here, they're over there. It's what it is. Yeah. It's the best bet. So I don't know where all these people are going to go. Where are you going to house these Unsullied? You know, where are you going to house all these Dothraki once you've won the throne? You know, these questions that are going to just be left unanswered.
Yeah.
Let's like take up like certain places. Like you can always have some of them stay, you know, at Dragonstone, have some of them stay at Castle Rock as soon as they conquer it. But will that be enough?
It'll definitely send a message. Yeah, because if you can take Highgarden, which is the food, and then Castle Rock, which is the gold, then they got nothing. You know? Then they have to give up. That's it. I don't know. So I think Kyle and Gemma and them are going on in like 5 or 4 minutes. You guys want to get out of here?
Thing is, like, how John is gonna like disconnect there, and then it's just gonna be his picture, his room.
Well, I think he's in the chat, isn't he?
Yeah, but in order to close this off, he's got to be from the laptop.
Right, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We got any
unless
hackers?
like eventually his battery
right.
from the laptop ever just goes off.
Are there any hackers in the chat?
Well, I can't confirm that or non-confirm that. So.
You would think, like, if it was idle, like, time for too long, it would turn off. Like, they'd have something like that, but probably not.
He should put, like, a sleeper timer on or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that, or maybe he can, I don't know, is he able to log into Google Hangouts maybe and leave the fucking, if he leaves Google Hangouts, then it'll disconnect on its own, right? After a certain time?
Possibly. If he signs out completely.
But the laptop will still be signed on, though. Where'd he go?
To pick up Iris from the airport.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot she was coming this weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was surprised that we were able to stream today. So it's like what time was she like gonna come?
Yeah. Dude, Sunday, I'm going to be planted at this computer all day.
Yeah. It's like starting, I forgot, like, what time? Is that like...
I think it's like 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right? 1 o'clock, I think. That stream chain starts.
I'm like it right here. What is it? Well, for us, Rich, it's 12 Eastern time, so 11 Central.
Damn, that means I got to get my snacks early.
Yep. So for me, it's like immediately after church, I got like rush to the supermarket, then rush home.
Yeah. My Sunday mornings usually start. I watch the Dragon Ball Super episode that aired the night before.
I gotta catch up before the anime convention. Gosh.
Yeah.
Go quickly.
Yeah, man, dude, it's getting real. It's been getting really good the last couple
I
episodes.
stopped at the freaking Future Trunks saga.
Well, it's all filler from there to where I'm at now. So pretty much from January or end of February or end of
You might as
January,
well just
February. Now
call
is
you
all
up
filler.
and tell me like which one is the freaking filler episodes I can just skip and get to main plot.
I tell you, wherever you're at now, start at 95. You want to just skip all the filler. 95 is where the filler
Because
stops.
that's where last episode I saw was like when the last episode was like when they actually did defeat the villain of the main arc. I know like Felicia isn't like caught up, so I'm not trying to say the whole damn spoiler. So it's like the last episode of the damn Future Trunks. Like that's it. That's when I stopped it. So now I know that there's like a few like fillers there I cannot stand. Yeah, like I'm watching dub now because I don't know if you ever watch a little bit of sub though, but it was like dub. It's like some like early dub is like okay, it's interesting though, but it's like they basically just got whatever the movies were and just added some scenes. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I mean you don't. I feel like you don't get the mannerisms of a lot of the guys on Dragon Ball.
It's not
Dub
spoiling anything.
over the sub.
I say, if you've seen the movies, Frieza, Resurrection, was it Resurrection F, whatever, and you've seen Battle of the Gods, yeah, good. This ain't spoiler. Even the early dub that you're seeing right now, it's just basically just a filler plus the movie.
Right.
And certain little adjustable changes.
Yep. Trying to see if Kyle's stream start. I don't want to do dueling, compete against them,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't remember them. You're not a true fan. Those are epic movies, and they were even canon. That's why I had to remember them because they were actually officially canon.
Right.
Besides minor stuff. Other movies they're non-canon. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, like the Broly movies back in the day. Remember those?
Mm.
Those were the shit.
Especially the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Tony, you don't watch Dragon Ball Z because you're not saying anything.
No.
And then we should change the subject. Someone put him is he muted? No, he's not muted. He's there.
No. I haven't seen certain anime every once. My boy's real into it, and I just recently watched what is that Ghost in the Shell, the movie they came out with.
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah, I seen the anime one, and I was like, that's pretty badass. I guess it's from the 90s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched that. And that was pretty cool. I've never really got into anime. It just wasn't because I didn't like it or anything. It was never something I got into. But every time my boys I'll watch certain shit. He's real into the shit, the shit that's in Japanese. You can't even understand what they're saying. He just likes the way the shit looks.
Yeah, well, when Dragon Ball Z first came, it dubbed over here. It was marketed right for my fucking age group. You know what I mean? Because I left the Pokemon and fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, and then jumped right from them to fucking to Dragon Ball at that time. And it was because then they were doing new episodes every day, so it's right after school. They timed it perfectly for right as soon as you got off the fucking school bus, you got on there and watched that shit. And it was funny because my buddy used to tell me, he goes, if you watched all of Dragon Ball Z and you don't try your hardest at everything you fucking do in your life, he goes, you need to rewatch the whole entire series. I was yo, if I have kids, I'm making them watch all the shit that I fucking watched back in the day. Who's that? Who that is?
What the hell? Yo.
Johnny?
That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have kids, I go full Chi-Chi on them. Chi-Chi was badass. But then there was like a line in Super, and I'm really questioning, like, has really Goku's children or not?
I mean, they're Super Saiyans, so I guess they gotta have to be at least half Saiyan.
Vegeta kind of came out of nowhere.
We know Uncle Vegeta be slinging that dick. You know what I mean? So Goku said he's never even kissed her before. He actually said that in the show. He's like, "What?" He's like, "You've kissed Bulma before?" Like that was a big deal. Like what? It's like, was he just like passed out one time and Chi-Chi was just, feeling,
Probably.
like,
She did the Cersei right there.
Yeah, right. She gave him the kettle black.
And then like Dragon Ball Z, it's like Goku dies like right after the Cell thing, and like when he returns in Majin Buu, there's the kid there. So it's like, did you have sex like when? Because you're basically training to the defeat Cell. Even before then, you basically just came back from a planet where you were even training then. So it's like, where is this gap of time that you plowed it with Chi-Chi? It's like there's something there we're not seeing.
Right. Well, I mean, what is it all? What does it really take? An instant transmission, 15 minutes, and another instant transmission back, and then you're good.
Still. During the random movie that I have, but still, it's like half these movies really existed. I've heard the Yamcha theory is complete bullshit. Oh, Yamcha could be the kid, but still, like, it has to be something with the Super Saiyan. I don't know.
There's a Yamcha theory.
Johnny.
Oh, now we hear him speak.
What the hell did he just say?
I heard Yamcha.
Yeah, same thing. I'm guessing that's his fanboy there, the only fanboy of Yamcha. Unless he likes seeing him die. I don't know.
Who the fuck's a fanboy of Yamcha?
Oh, no, this is Scrub. This is Scrub here. This ain't Johnny. How you doing, Scrub?
Hello?
It's been a long time
How's that?
that you entered the live stream.
I was trying to see how uncomfortable you guys would get having a really random person on the stream.
You ain't random, Scrubs.
It was great. Like, there was a moment of panic as soon as you guys saw someone else. You're like, hey, who that be? Yeah, it's great. No, but I only hopped on to say Dragon Ball Super is a complete disappointment. It's trash. You should all be ashamed of yourselves.
Some of it's good, I'm not going to lie, though, but it got a little bit boring and tedious.
Better than GT.
Oh, definitely better than GT.
Dog Turd is better than GT.
True, though.
It helps me hang on to the last bit of nostalgia I got. Right?
I was 8 years old when GT came out, and that was trash. God, I have PTSD over that type of shit.
Yeah, shit. I'm gonna age myself. I think I was like fucking like 18, 19 when that shit came out.
Nah, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it, and it just
It
got
wasn't very
worse.
Was not
It just
very
got
good.
worse. So like every time a bad episode comes out for Super, I get GT flashback.
Yeah. Just huddle in the corner like, oh god.
Yeah. It's the same thing with DC films, man. I get flashbacks to bad things. It's a serious mental health problem.
But I just hope it eventually will end, but I don't know when it will end.
Yeah, it won't end. It's a cash cow. Think of it.
Mhm.
In
Because
this,
before it was supposed to end like what, like around 100th episodes or something like that?
I believe so. But
Yeah,
think of
Then
it.
they just continued it.
Think of it like how they're doing with the whole Game of Thrones spin-offs. But
Right.
in Game of Thrones, they're more reasonable considering the world is a lot bigger.
Yep. Yeah, they could really do anything with those spin-offs. Like if you do like a story about Yee back in the day, like you have free reign. You know what I mean? Like no one can say like, oh, it's not part of the source material because there is no source material. You know, that's got to be their
Right.
safest bet. Doing something like out in the far east where George has said like he ain't going there in the books. You know what I mean? Like even just a thing called like the Five Forts. Name that the fucking show. Do whatever the fuck you want that happened out there, out east, and and I'll buy it, hook, line, and sinker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like in the histories, like with the Long Night, they had their own like that's their wall in Essos. So like you could almost do like a parallel like show that would be going on at the same time as that Long Night, but because the show makes it like it's only Westeros, I guess it kind of wouldn't work. But I mean, if it was like real, well, the history as it is for like a Song of Ice and Fire, like they went through this long night. It's almost like that Lands of Always Winter, but like if their world is round, you know what I mean? It'd be their like wall because they talk about how big this shit is. Big five big ass forts, and they're even higher. The walls to these forts are even higher than the wall is.
Yeah. Or like, how do we even know how big Southaros really is?
Right. There's so much shit you could do. I think they're just scared to go off of the way like the material is for like Westeros is. That they're
Right.
scared to put that much money into it and it not pan out.
Right.
But I think if they did anything, and see, this is the thing. Even with the spin-offs, I guarantee, like with the title itself, they're gonna attach Game of Thrones to it. It's gonna be like Game of Thrones, the so and so. You know what I mean? Just so everybody that's, like you said, the casual person that likes Game of Thrones may not like it to the point like we do. Will still see Game of Thrones attached to it. Like, oh well, it has Game of Thrones attached. It must be good. You know?
Right.
Or simply
Which
just
is
a Game
why
of
I
Thrones
was
actor or actress. You might just see the movie or show.
Right.
right. Which is why I was 100% sure they were gonna do fucking Robert's Rebellion as the next one because it would have been perfect. Because like, what would watch Robert's Rebellion? There's character names and everyone that you would know from this first series, so that would bring people to watch the first. People who only watched the spinoff, the Robert's Rebellion spinoff, would want to see what would happen. If they're like, oh, I wonder what happens after. Well, hey, watch the first fucking series and you would know what happens fucking after. You know what I mean? And you have actors established that you could already pick off. Like that dude who played young Ned was believable to me. You know what I mean? I thought for sure
So
they were doing, but George said they're not doing Roberts, so I guess that's it.
did they explain like why they're not doing Roberts?
He said that at the end of the last two books, you're gonna know everything that went down at Robert's Rebellion, and he didn't want to beat the dead horse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They should do.
But then that's telling us to wait for the two books. You know what I mean? How long is that gonna fucking be? You know?
The best way to do the whole of Essos is to do what was his name? Longstrider. They should do Longstrider as a spin-off.
And for those who are not book savvy, who was he?
He's the explorer that explored the whole of Essos. That way they can get the whole culture and the experience of Essos within one whole experience. He's a book writer and one of Tyrion's favorite authors, and he's in fact one of the reasons why Tyrion is so smart, since he was rewarded by his uncle for memorizing certain facts from that guy. Look who's back.
Mm-hmm. That or a faceless person has his face.
Look who's back.
Oh, well, the camera was on you all this whole time?
Yeah, I guess it still is.
Hmm.
I'm looking at it.
Y'all
I'm looking,
still fucking on?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
told you we'd hold
You
it
never,
down.
like, click
That's
end
fucking
it or
crazy.
anything. Hey, Iris.
Look at the random head.
Lucky you.
I can't hear them, man, if they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
No sound,
Leaving, I
man.
guess, from Scrub and Secrets of the Citadel, Jenna?
Johnny, you should give her, your sister back your ideas. Oh, that's not my sister, Felicia. That's not my sister.
That's Iris.
Mm-hmm. I can't say that. I've no winning answer to that. But yeah.
It's probably
No? I don't know.
What sound did you just take?
We could hear you, Johnny.
No, I can't hear anyone. Hang on, I'm gonna reboot.
I'm guessing when he left, he took out Scrub as well.
Yeah, that was probably the problem. Like 2 original Kingsguard logins or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Strange enough, when YouTube be fucking up, they sometimes be having 2 people on the same one still there.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Unless Scrub just like left and went back to his account. Yep, he left as a Johnny left.
Makes sense.
And there's the dog, the irritating dog. I swear. Then if I'm doing like videos and stuff, occasionally the dog just comes out of nowhere and starts barking. It's either the barking noise from the dog or the airplanes.
Or the airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
Either by an airport.
Ambulance. Yeah, close to near. I'm sure it was near Guardia or Kennedy. But it's like, plus it's New York City, so again, it's like planes come in like almost every hour on the hour. During like normally the day and afternoon. But now it's the summer, it's going to be like so frequently.
Yeah, but
Just pray for when it's like another snowstorm or just raining to the point it's like we're grounded.
the hell was that?
That was my phone.
So it sounded like a fucking phone vibrated.
Mm-hmm. So
Think he's coming back?
I don't know. Want to place bets? It's okay if he doesn't come back, though. Let's spend time with Iris.
Yeah, exactly. And the stream will
You
shut
can
down
always-
eventually.
You can always shoot the shit any other time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
New England weather is the worst. This is no. Dude, man. I don't know if you collect Funko Pops or not, though, but the hype is real with those San Diego Comic-Con, man.
Yeah, they had the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already got word where it's going to be shared at. So now I'm just like stalking on all the websites, having all tabs up. Already made accounts, just like with my card already in there, just waiting.
How much
Just
are they gonna go for? You know,
Oh yeah, $15, not counting
for,
tax.
for the Comic-Con mountain.
hmm
Damn.
Normally they're like $10,
Yeah, I know, but still,
since
it'll
it's
go up in
an
price.
exclusive.
Yeah, it'll go up in price as
Yeah,
the
for the
years.
scalpers. Yeah. Well,
You-
sometimes it depends. It depends like
yeah.
how rare it is and how many were made and like what kind of exclusive it is.
Well, remember the headless Ned? This shit was like $1,000.
Yeah, because like 100, I think either 1,000 or 100 were made.
Yeah.
So that would explain it. Plus his fucking headless Ned
Right.
Stark.
Do you know how many they're gonna make in a mountain? You don't know ahead of time, or?
Oh no, there's plenty of them that if they
Oh,
share
really?
it, there's plenty of it to go around. Like they only like share their exclusives that, but if it's like limited to like 1,000 pieces, yeah,
Yeah.
don't expect to find those at like retail price.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Do you have the
Mhm.
Do you have the gold hand Jamie?
Nah, that's one I have to fucking find because it's
Yeah,
that one
it's
becomes
vaulted.
difficult now. Because yeah, it's vaulted. Like once it's vaulted, that's when they stop.